Well, welcome everybody. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us tonight for our virtual UMass Snapshot visit. My name is Lindsay McGrath, and I'm the Director of Student and Young Alumni Programs on the UMass Alumni Relations team and a proud alumna myself. Welcome to Homecoming 2020 at home. I want to thank each of you for supporting UMass Amherst and for spending your Monday evening with us. I am thrilled to welcome 5 of our UMass tour guides tonight as they share updates from campus and highlight some of our new construction as well. Before I turn it over to them, I do want to remind you that tonight's event is being recorded. By participating in this event, you are giving consent to being part of this recorded session. Now, I'm pleased to welcome Jotika, Farah, Will, Pat, and Deborah. I'll let them take it away.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today to kick off Homecoming Week. We wish we could all be giving you guys a tour on campus, especially given how beautiful campus is this time of year. But we thank you all for joining us regardless tonight to hear a bit about our continuously evolving campus and community. So I'm going to start off by introducing myself, and then I'll hand it off to the others here on the call with me today. So again, my name is Jotika. I'm a senior public health major on the pre-med track here at UMass, and I am also a first-year grad student in the 4+1 Masters of Public Health program with a concentration in health policy and management, and I'm also a member of the Commonwealth Honors College, so if you have any questions about any of that, feel free to ask. As far as what I'm involved with on campus outside of being an admissions fellow and a tour guide here at UMass, I am also a former first-year RA, and I'm also a current research assistant in the Oxygen and Muscle Metabolism Lab on campus, where I'm conducting my senior thesis. I'm also a current teaching assistant in the biochemistry department. I'm secretary for the Association for Women in Science, and I'm also a contact tracer with the current UMass COVID-19 response team. So if you have any questions about any of that, feel free to ask. But other than that, I'm going to hand it off to Will to tell everybody a bit about himself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Will. I'm a junior psychology major here at UMass. I'm from a town called Westwood, Massachusetts. Outside of being a tour guide, which I absolutely love, I see we have some tour guide pride in the comments. I am a member of the Commonwealth Honors College. I'm involved with research within the psychology department. I'm in an eyewitness modeling lab, which is really fun and really cool. And I'm also a member of the neuroscience club, but I am going to pass it along to Pat now.
Hi, everyone. My name is Patrick. I'm also a junior here at UMass. I am pursuing a dual degree in biochemistry and political science here. I'm also a member of the Commonwealth Honors College, and outside of being a tour guide like everybody else, I am involved in research on campus. So I am studying protein degradation in a biochemistry lab. I'm also involved with the outing club. So we get to do all the hiking and the outdoor venturing around the Western Mass and New England area, which has been just great so far because even with the pandemic, you can still do some socially distanced stuff outdoors, which is great. I'm going to pass it off to Debbie now.
Hi, everyone. My name is Debbie, or Deborah, whatever makes you feel good. I'm a senior public health major on the pre-physician assistant track here at UMass, and I'm also a transfer student. So just a little bit about me. I'm originally from Cambridge, Massachusetts, but then I moved to Weymouth, Mass. My freshman year in high school. And then about what I do on campus, I'm the head career ambassador for the School of Public Health and Health Sciences. So basically anything to get you an internship, job, review resumes, cover letters, I'm your go-to person for that. And then I also am a teaching assistant for an easy public health course that you can take, that your kids can take when they come to UMass. And then I also served on 2 executive boards of 2 registered student organizations here on campus, one as a cultural liaison for the African Student Association, and then as an event coordinator for BASIC, which is Brothers and Sisters in Christ, which is a church-based organization here on campus. Now I'm going to pass that off to Farah to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Farah, and I'm a senior at UMass studying political science with a minor in Arabic. I'm from Bellingham, Massachusetts, so not too far away from our lovely campus. And on campus, when I'm not giving tours, either there or virtually, I've also been part of UMass Women into Leadership, which is an amazing program all focused on professional development for young women. I'm also, I've been an orientation leader in the past. I've been a resident assistant in a first-year hall. I'm a teaching assistant right now for first-year seminars in the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences. And also 2 summers ago, I got to intern in Washington, D.C. through a program funded by UMass called Social Behavioral Sciences in D.C. It was funded through the generosity of UMass alumni. So I'm even more excited to be talking to you all today because of that amazing program. So really excited to get started, and I'll pass it back to Jotika to kick it off.
Awesome. So as you can see, we have a broad range of interests represented here today, but I just wanted to let you all know that at any time during the presentation, if you have any questions at all, feel free to pop it into the question and answer function that we have offered for all of our attendees, and we'll do our very best to answer all of your questions. But now for a little bit about UMass. Obviously, you've all attended, so you know most of what there is to know, but we just wanted to acknowledge that things might be a little bit different from when you were a student. So we just wanted to provide you with some updates in regards to the university itself. We are still located in Amherst, which is voted one of the best college towns in America consistently. And we've moved up in our rankings of top public universities to number 26, according to the US News and World Report. And we offer 10 schools and colleges with 100 plus undergraduate degree programs. And that's constantly evolving as well, offering more certificates and minors as we go. So definitely something to be proud of. And perhaps one of our proudest rankings is #1 campus dining for 4 years in a row. So we are going strong with that. And we'll actually be talking about Worcester Dining, which just reopened with its renovations. We'll be talking a little bit about that later, but there's some great food and it's constantly updating as well. But now just to talk a little bit about our community, we obviously are the flagship university of all the universities in Massachusetts, and we are one of the largest, coming in at around 24,000 undergrads, and about 2,000 of them are international undergrads. So they kind of offer that global perspective to the community. And obviously our students are coming from all around the world and the country and all different kinds of paths of life. And they continuously enrich our community with diversity in gender, race, ethnicity, geographic location, culture, academic interests, and so much more. It's an empowering campus community where we not only are preparing you to be skilled academically in your major, but we're also supporting students and their commitment and drive to positively impact the world and their community. So as you can see, we have about 29% of our students in our classes are students of color. We represent approximately 49 states. So there's that one state that we don't have represented here on campus, unfortunately. But we also have about 21% of our undergrads are the first in their family to go to college, and about 22% of them are Pell Grant recipients. So we do have a lot of diversity represented here on campus as well. But other than that little snapshot, I just wanted to get you guys all reacquainted to campus. So as you can see, we have a map over here for you. So obviously, we would love to be taking you around campus right now, but since we can't, I just wanted to offer you all some perspective in case you haven't been to campus in a while, just to mentally orient you all in such a way that you can possibly visualize where the various buildings and programs we're going to be talking about here today in this presentation are located. So if you look in the middle, we have the iconic campus pond. So if you can kind of acquaint yourself around the campus pond, above it, we've got the campus center, and below it, we've got the Fine Arts Center. So if you kind of look at it in that perspective, to the left of it, we're going to see the Student Union, which is newly being renovated, still under construction as we speak, the old chapel and things that have gone on in there and renovations, the Commonwealth Honors College, which is relatively new architecture as well and infrastructure over there. And then if we look to our right, we're going to see the newly opened Worcester Dining Commons. Again, they just opened today. And then we have the Integrated Sciences building, where we've got a lot of groundbreaking research and things happening over there. The John Oliver Design Building, and then the newly opened Isenberg Business Innovation Hub just opened, I believe, last year. So a lot of great things happening on campus, and a lot of great things that we're going to be talking about here during our presentation. So without further ado, I will pass it on to Will to talk a little bit about the new Student Union.
Awesome. So as you guys can see from these pictures, the student union is being updated. It was originally created in 1957, and during the time it was the largest building on campus, and it was kind of like the hub of campus, obviously. It houses 200 registered student-run organizations, and it supports over 30,000 students. Obviously, since it was built in 1957, it needed a little updating and a little TLC. So that's exactly what UMass did. And it is a $62 million renovation project that we are incredibly proud of here at UMass. As you guys can see with these big windows in the top left corner of your screen, it really optimizes daytime lighting and a lot of great office spaces for students to work so they can study and meet with other students and things like that. One of the coolest things I think about this building is that it is incredibly environmentally efficient. It really reduces energy output. And UMass, that's one of the things that UMass is trying to do by 2050 is become carbon neutral. So this building is definitely going to aid in that process. I did walk around campus one time with my mom and ate lunch on by the campus pond, and we took a selfie in front of the new student union building to send to my sister because she's a graduate, and she was absolutely blown away. I'm personally a transfer student, so the first time I step into the student union building will be my first time ever stepping into the student union building. So I will experience it in all of its glory for the first time, so that'll be really exciting. And yeah, I mean, obviously, as you guys can see, it's really pretty. It's really nice on the inside, and it is definitely updated. And yeah, so I'm going to pass it along to Pat right now. And he is going to talk to you guys about the wonderful new dining hall that we have.
Yes, so I am so excited to talk about the Worcester Dining Commons. I would just say that it is only a dining hall, but it has so much more than that. I'll start with the most important stuff, which is all the food aspects it has. So it has your main dining hall in it. So the old Worcester Dining Hall was completely torn down, and just in front of it, we built this brand new Worcester Dining Hall. It opened actually today, this morning. So when I was getting off my bus at the physical science building to go into lab this morning, I saw them opening up the doors for the first time to all the students going in for breakfast, which was really cool to see. I haven't stepped foot in it yet. I do have plans to go. I'm excited. So it has your main dining hall. On the first floor, right when you enter, it's going to have a retail food cafe. So it's going to have little things like coffee and pastries and sandwiches like that. It's going to have grab and go. So in between classes, when we are full force back on campus, you can grab your sandwich or whatever great food they have and run to your next class. And it's also going to have a commercial bakery down there. So that used to be located in Hampton, and then it moved on over to the first floor of Worcester. So it has absolutely everything you could possibly need food-wise. But that's not where it stops. It's going to have student spaces as well. So they're calling it the neighborhood center. So as you can see in that top left picture, it's going to have these little lounge areas for students to do work, because why not do work while you're getting a bite of our #1 campus dining, because that's how I always like to work. It's also going to have a gym in there or a fitness center. It's just going to make me feel bad whenever I go that I'm not going down to the fitness center to work out, even though it's right there. And I probably just ate about like 5 pounds of pasta prano at the dining hall. But still, regardless, it has so much to offer for all of us. It's also going to have a music practice room in it, which I think is so cool. So you're even going to have some live music there. So a lot of our students in Berkshire Dining Hall, on Sunday mornings, the jazz band would come and play. And now Worcester created their very own space in the dining hall. So even more students can perform live music there, which I just think is so cool. So it's going to be a really great environment in there. It did just open today. And that's going to be our main dining hall on campus right now for our students. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the old chapel. So I'll pass it off.
All right, so this is the old chapel. You guys know that it used to be a church, so basically people used to hold services in there, but now it functions as a place for admissions. So basically admissions programs run there. And then it's also a space for students just to congregate and chill if they want to study there. It's beautiful. And we know that the clock up there, it ticks, it continues to tick, which I really love. And you can hear it sometimes. So it's a beautiful building. I'm just gonna pass that off to Farah to talk to you guys about the WB Dubois Library.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about our iconic W.E.B. Du Bois Library. It still remains the center of our campus, our center of the bullseye. It really is like the North Star of UMass. I think you can practically see it from anywhere you are. And I know for me, I'm so horrible at directions, and it was truly that guiding light as I transitioned over to UMass. At 28 stories and 286 feet tall, it's also the tallest academic research library in the entire world, and also the third tallest library in the world. So we really have that going for us at UMass, which is pretty cool. And this is actually just one of 3 libraries on our campus. We have 2 smaller ones, more geared towards STEM in different areas on our campus. But this library is primarily for humanities and social and behavioral sciences in terms of the databases they have and the books that we carry. So students here can take out any sort of books from our millions that we carry at our library. We also have tons of databases students can access. And also, since we're part of that 5 college consortium, students also have access to the books from Amherst College, Hampshire College, Smith College, and Mount Holyoke. So any sort of research we're doing, we have so many resources to utilize from our campus itself and the other nearby schools as well, which is really nice. And in general, there's just so much going on in our library, but I'll just run through it real quick. We have computer labs on the bottom floor for students who can't access those technologies otherwise, printers down there as well. We also have a tutoring center where students who have done really well in a class tutor students who are currently taking that class. And it's an incredible resource to utilize, totally free for UMass students. I personally took intro to biology my sophomore year to see if I was a sciencey person at all. I totally was not. That was a hard lesson to learn, but these tutors were just incredible. So it's a great space to utilize as a UMass student. We also have a writing center if students are struggling to get started with their papers, need someone to look over their personal statement for something. These are also students running the writing center who are an incredible resource. We have the digital media lab, which is where you can find all of your technological needs, such as virtual reality, which I think is pictured on this slide. We also have tons of like voice recording booths, video cameras to rent out, a 3D printer, really anything your heart desires is probably up there and totally free to utilize as well. And also on one of our top floors, we have the university archives and the original work of W.E.B. Du Bois, which I think is really neat to check out. I've had the pleasure of going during one of my classes, and it's just a really cool site to see and dig through these primary sources up there. So our library is still as iconic as ever and has a whole variety of resources, but that's just a snapshot of it all. And now I'll pass it over to Will to talk about our Commonwealth Honors College.
Awesome. So the Commonwealth Honors College, in terms of, the college itself and that kind of area of UMass, it isn't, a college you can get a degree from, but it is a way for students here at UMass to kind of have smaller class sizes and a little bit more focused on research and discussion within the class. These classes are capped at around 25 students. And at the end of a student's time here at UMass, they have to complete their honors thesis, which is a really cool research project that they get to kind of undergo and take on all by themselves. So that's going to be really exciting for me to do. Can't wait. And then in terms of the Commonwealth Honors residential area, it is our newest dormitories on campus. Definitely when me and my friends were, in the Honors College, we would definitely go to we'd go to our friends who lived in the Honors College dorms because they have AC during the fall and spring months. So that was really great. But they also have a bunch of cool areas within the Honors College, like Roots Cafe, which is one of our retail dining locations, has absolutely phenomenal quesadillas that are a great little study break. It also has a large kind of, a large group room where a lot of events take place. I got my flu shot there one time, which was awesome. And then additionally, Honors College has a lot of cool common rooms as well. And at the bottom of the Honors College, in the base floor, are where a lot of honors classes take place. So that's where the majority of my honors classes have taken place. I've taken a bunch of cool classes. I think my favorite one I've taken in there is New England Town Planning, which was really exciting. It was an honors seminar, and I had a great time in it. And I learned a lot about my town and my surrounding towns as well. The Honors College is an awesome community to be a part of. I'm very, very thankful I was a part of it. And yeah, I've definitely enjoyed my time within the Honors College and being in the Honors College dorms and such. But I am going to toss it on to Pat again, and he's going to talk to you guys about South College.
Yeah, so South College is home to our humanities and fine arts advising. It's right next to the WEB Dubois Library, so right in that heart of campus as well. And as you can see from the bottom picture, you can see that original 1858 brick, or 1885, sorry, brick exterior. And that actually shows you kind of, you can see on the two edges of the building, that's where the dorms used to be. And then in the middle, in that shorter section, or where the classrooms used to be. So the Massachusetts College that UMass used to be in the 1800s was this whole building right here. So it's kind of crazy to see how big our campus has gotten. Inside, we just had an absolute gut renovation. Everything is brand new in there, as you can see from that top picture and that right picture. It's absolutely beautiful in there. It's home to the English department now, the history of art and architecture department, women, gender and sexuality studies. So a lot of those HFA or the humanities and fine arts majors. It's the addition that was put onto it was 60,000 square feet. So it's now just breathtaking when you walk in to see all the open spaces, and it has a ton of little small student spaces. So as you can see, a ton of people are studying in there. Indoors is actually where they have one of the walls from the old exterior of the building, which I think is really cool, how they incorporated all the original features of the building into this new and completely renovated and modern building. A lot of the English classes, a lot of the humanities classes take place in here. However, on my tour, when we were in person, I would say this to the group of families walking, and then we would turn right, and the first class we would see would be a biochemistry upper level course. So you see the professor with all the cells on the slide, and I was like, it's home to the English department, and that would be the first class that we see. So definitely a lot of our students have classes in here. So I'm going to pass it off to Debbie now.
All right, so this beautiful building that you see is a John Oliver design building. It's a nice contemporary heavy timber wood structure with cross-laminated timber and concrete composite floor. If you don't know what any of those words mean, basically that is why the building is as beautiful as it is. So basically, this building is a shared home of the construction technology program. So the Department of Environmental Conservation, Department of Architecture, and the Department of Landscape Architecture and Regional Planning. So a lot of the beautiful buildings that you see on campus, and we keep talking about renovation, it is in part of the students who work here, the students who take classes here and who are trying to build a career in this major. The great thing about this building is that its main function is to reduce carbon footprint. So basically, sustainability is a key feature. So there's LED lighting, motion sensors, ample daylighting, heat recovery systems. There's even a roof garden. I will say on tour that if you ever want to recreate the scene that Troy and Gabriella were in High School Musical and they're dancing in the garden, definitely go up to the rooftop garden at the design building, because it is beautiful and it's just a great escape, honestly. I always go there for just to study. And then there's also like outlets outside. I don't know how they created that, but I know that's really awesome. So I really appreciate it. So the structural system, it reduces the building's carbon footprint and maximizes the use of renewable materials, which is really awesome. And the wood that was used in construction removed 2,000 tons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which is what we're trying to do in this world. So I love that UMass is a part of, being sustainable and trying to integrate all of these key features into this building. But just to move things right along, I'll pass off to Farah to talk about the next building.
Awesome. Yeah. So the next stop on our virtual tour is Stockbridge Hall, which is actually the home to our Stockbridge School of Agriculture, which remains one of the nation's top agricultural schools, which is really neat, especially because that's kind of the basis that UMass was formed off of. So this still remains a hallmark of that. Fun fact, it's actually named after Levi Stockbridge, who was the university's first professor of agriculture and also its third president. I myself have not had much experience with this building, aside from some tour guide open house events. And I've also seen a few performances in here because there's a very versatile auditorium called Bowker Auditorium, where students will have lectures for their classes. And then you'll also find theater performances happening there, dance performances and music performances. So I've definitely seen an a cappella show or two here. So it's a really neat place that's pretty versatile, but also mainly the home of our School of Agriculture. So that's what I have to say about our Stockbridge Hall, and I'll pass it along to Will to talk about Fiorello Hall.
Awesome. So Fiorello Hall houses our College of Education, and also a number of different majors like the Department of Teacher Education and Curriculum Studies, early childhood education concentration, special ed, and then exploratory tracks and a minor in secondary education. And as you can see, this is a absolutely a beautiful auditorium we have here. And additionally, the College of Education, Fiorello Hall, they value holistic teaching, a lot of collaborative research, which is great. That's a common theme you guys are going to see here. As we talk about academics here at UMass, kind of focusing on teamwork and research in general, and also engaging within the community. That's another thing that the College of Education is really focused on as well. And then the College of Education also offers a master's program, so a master's of education, doctor of philosophy, and then education specialist. But a lot of awesome stuff goes on in Fiorello Hall and the Carney Family Auditorium. But I'm going to toss it along to Pat right now, and he's going to talk about what we're talking about next.
Yeah, so the Isenberg School of Management got a beautiful new business innovation hub tacked on to the original Isenberg business building. So this, I say tack on, but it was 70,000 square feet of added classroom space, student space, faculty offices, and even my best friend would kill me if I didn't point this out, a little retail dining location that, and I quote, serves the best mac and cheese on campus. He gets that, I think, every single day that he's on campus. He always has to stop at the Isenberg Hub and get mac and cheese from there. But other than that, it was a multi-million-dollar renovation to add on all of these spaces and to really enhance a lot of the classrooms and the labs that are offered through the Isenberg School of Management, being those 7 majors separating into the Bachelor's of Business Administration and Bachelor's of Science. It also now houses the Center of Entrepreneurship. So this was actually started by 2 alumni from UMass Amherst in 2014, and it promotes students to really get involved in entrepreneurship, take a product idea that they may have and make it into a real marketable product that they can bring to businesses and kind of get a taste of what the real world and the business would look like. So now I'm going to pass it back to Debbie so she can talk about the Integrative Learning Center.
All right, so the Integrative Learning Center is an awesome building. I think everybody who is basically a student passes through this building, even though it houses just a place for communication, journalism, linguistics, and film studies departments. As you can see in the slide here, you can see someone filming something, which, as I said, is for film studies majors. So basically, film broadcasting, production studios, editing and screening rooms, auditoriums, technology-enabled active listening classrooms, lounges, and language laboratories are all in this building. But as I said again, everybody who is a UMass student is probably going to pass through this building just once in their life. And basically, another key thing about this building that I really love is its team-based learning. So basically, students are able, instead of having an auditorium where a professor is lecturing at you, you have an opportunity to be in tables with other students and getting to learn from each other, which I really love. So that's a new renovation about this building that is, supersedes being at UMass, because when you get out of here, being able to work in a group is super important too. But that's just a little bit about this building. I'll pass it off to Farah.
Awesome. So now I'm going to talk about Marcus Hall, which is a pretty versatile academic building on our campus. It primarily is geared towards STEM classes. So I've definitely had like my calculus class here, but it also houses other disciplines as well, because I've also had a world politics class in this hall. It's also known for the College of Engineering Hub now, which was opened up in January 2019. And this is really just a nice study space for engineering students specifically to get together, form those study groups, and have a more productive area to study. So our College of Engineering is actually ranked the best public engineering school in New England. It was established at the university in 1946. So our engineering program is very rigorous, but also very prestigious. So this study space is awesome for those engineering students, like I said, to get together and promote more productivity. And also in general, our College of Engineering has about 10 different majors, which range from biomedical engineering to chemical engineering, civil engineering, et cetera, until you have about 10 different fields of study. And we also have a few different professional degrees that we offer and a few different graduate certificates as well. Aside from the College of Engineering Hub, there is also a Community, Equity, and Inclusion Hub, which is a nice space for students involved in different student organizations around engineering to get together and collaborate in those areas as well. So that really sums up Marcus Hall, and I'll pass it over to Will to talk about our computer science building.
Awesome. So here at UMass, computer science is actually one of our most competitive majors, and it deserves an incredibly nice building that I get to see every day, which is awesome. One of my friends is actually a computer science major here at UMass, and I can tell you before COVID, he spent a considerable amount of time within the computer science building, whether it was utilizing the awesome study space or these rooms that we have that you can see on the left for like group work and things like that. Or whether it was using, the computer labs that we also have within the computer science building as well. The computer science building is home to obviously the computer science major, but it's also home to the College of Information or Informatics and those majors as well. Additionally, a lot of research actually goes on in the computer science building, like artificial intelligence, data management, electronic teaching, human language technologies, machine learning, mobile and sensor systems, a lot of things that as a psychology major, I have no idea what they mean, if I'm being completely honest with you. But a lot of our alumni here are a lot of people who graduate with a computer science degree at UMass. They work at a lot of prestigious companies that are in computer and information technology. We have alumni that have worked at Dell or have worked at Google, Apple, a lot of those big name tech places that I'm sure you've heard of. And yeah, the computer science building is a really awesome place for computer science majors to kind of congregate and work together. A lot of long nights, I'm assuming, a lot of work. But with a building like that, I'm sure they can get through it. But I am now going to pass it along to Pat, and he's going to talk about Arnold House.
Yeah, so Arnold House is home to our School of Public Health and Health Sciences, housing all of those majors and their advising. Obviously, public health is very important right now. So I'll get into how they're coordinating our public health response on campus in just a little bit. But first, they offer a wide variety of majors, tracks, and also research opportunities. So two of the main research opportunities that they highlight within the School of Public Health and Health Sciences is the Institute for Global Health. So this connects students to a wide variety of research opportunities that's especially focused in public health issues that range across the entire world. So focusing in developing countries, trying to solve real world problems and study those throughout the entire world, which I just think is really cool because you might not always get to be exposed to those issues being from Massachusetts, but it's really great to find your research and go out there, and they do a great job of connecting all their students to whatever they want to study. And then the second research opportunity that they mainly connect students to is the Center for Research and Education in Women's Health. So this is kind of an offshoot of the Global Health Institute, but it focuses on women's health across the world internationally and also focusing in those developing countries. So that's another concentration that they offer for the public health and health sciences majors. Additionally, the public health team is coordinating our coronavirus response on campus. So whether that be the asymptomatic testing in the Mullen Center, so all of the students that either live on campus, have to go to campus, or live in the Amherst area, get free twice a week coronavirus testing, so asymptomatic testing, which is a really great public health initiative that helps us contain the virus within the Amherst area. And then they also do things like safely opening up, whether it be the dining halls or academic buildings for students going to. So personally, I have to go onto campus to my organic chemistry lab sometimes. And so they were really great in coordinating one-way walkways, separating all of our students. They provided the PPE for us, the proper protective equipment. So that way we were all being safe and it wasn't a burden on any of us to be protected during those labs. In the dining halls, they set up all the plexiglasses, one-way seating. All the seating is 6 feet apart and following all those guidelines. So the School of Public Health has been extremely important, not only before coronavirus, but now during this global pandemic. So now I'm going to pass it back to Debbie so she can continue.
All right, so another super important building. Where are my College of Nursing students at? and I can't hear you guys, but so you guys probably know that this is probably like one of the hardest majors to get into, along with engineering, business, and computer science. But what I bet you guys didn't know that it was constructed in 1948. It used to house the School of Home Economics, and that's why it has the name Skinner, because that was the school's first dean, Edna Skinner. The university actually built the addition in 2006 to fully accommodate the nursing school, which is really cool because now it has a state-of-the-art simulation lab, and then it also works with the Institute for Applied Life Sciences, which facilitates contributions to advances in nursing, engineering, chronic illness, and gerontology, which is like the study of aging. But I know that we are all young here, so but that's just a little bit about this building. Now I'm going to pass that off to Farah.
All right, so now I'm going to talk about the Integrated Sciences Building, which we more commonly refer to as the ISB. And this is one of the main hubs of our College of Natural Sciences. This college is so wide and expansive that it actually has about 18 different academic buildings that it encompasses. This is definitely one of the main ones. It has a beautiful design, very sustainable building design that incorporates environmentally friendly and energy saving green building techniques. It's also just so stunning on the inside. I haven't had the pleasure of taking any classes here as a student in the College of SDS, but it's so beautiful with the glass windows, and it has a lot of modern laboratories, lecture halls, and also smaller classrooms, as well as great study spaces, nooks and crannies in there, and also a little cafe, I believe, when students are studying really late or going, from their labs to lectures and all of that. And also on the main floor, there's a really cool interactive molecular playground that I can't describe any better than that, but I've seen it once or twice, and it's really neat, little interactive exhibit down there. So it's a very modern building. And like Joe mentioned earlier, we have a lot of groundbreaking research happening on our university. We do get the third most funding for research behind Harvard and MIT in the state. So there's a lot going on with research, whether it's STEM related in our ISB or more humanities related in other buildings. This is definitely one of the main hubs of it, and definitely is one of the main hubs of our College of Natural Sciences. So on that science theme, I'm going to pass it over to Will to talk about our Moral Science Center.
Awesome. So Morrill is kind of like the ISB, a hub for research in the College of Natural Sciences, including the biology department. It's made of 4 buildings that are kind of tricky to navigate, but once you get it down, you can kind of work through it. There are 4 research labs within this building, so that includes biochemistry, biology, geoscience, and microbiology. And then the public health department, is also located. They also have things going on within this building as well. I have had the distinct pleasure of taking a couple classes in Morrill, and the amount of research that goes on within Morrill is absolutely incredible. Every time I was walking to class, or I was trying to find my way to class, I would pass a different research lab or a different place where I could see people, running experiments and doing things. I can definitely tell you I have known a lot of biology majors and a lot of people who are doing research who have spent a lot of long nights and long days within Morrill. It is definitely one of the biggest hubs of research on campus, and a lot of awesome stuff goes on here, and a lot of really cool findings as well come out of Morrill. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it on to Pat, who is going to talk about the Champion Center here at UMass.
Yeah, so our John Francis Kennedy Champion Center is home to our men and women's basketball team. If you've ever seen me play the tour guide intramural basketball league, you probably wonder why they didn't name it after me. I'm not bitter about it. I'll probably get the building one day. But besides hosting the intramural basketball championship, it does host 2 full-size practice courts for our men's and women's basketball team, as well as a bunch of little smaller, not full-size courts, but just practice area for our basketball teams. It has a fitness room in there, laundry for all the towels and all the jerseys and things like that. It has a bunch of workout areas, and it's located right across from the Commonwealth Honors College, and right next to the Mullen Center. So it's actually connected to the Mullen Center underneath, which is pretty cool. So if it's a blizzard outside and you don't want to walk the 5 feet outside in between the two buildings, you can actually just go right under, which is really cool. As you can see, it's really beautiful on the inside, and the sun sets right on those glass windows in the right picture, which is absolutely beautiful to see across all the intramural fields. So now I'll pass it back to Debbie so she can talk about the football bubble.
All right, so this bubble, it's a seasonal air-supported indoor facility just to support UMass's entire athletic department, which is really dope, and it's completely and operational for team use. So previously, it was donated a $5.58 million donation from Marty Jacobson, class of 1968. So if you're here, we appreciate your donation very much. So basically, it has so many enhancements to this building for athletics, including new restrooms, ADA upgrades, a new state-of-the-art video and auxiliary board, and a new hospitality plaza behind the south end zone, which all opened in the fall of 2019. So along with Marty's first donation, we've had a lot of other people donate too. So I'm really glad that, you know, people continue to love UMass as much and continue to renovate it, support us with their money, honestly. But Farah, do you want to talk about the next building?
Yes, so this is one of our, I believe, our final stop, which is the Warren McGurk Alumni Stadium. This is home to our Minutemen football team, and it has been since 1965. UMass currently stands as a D1 school, including football. So the football games are a great way to see school spirit come out. You can see the stadium somewhat packed on a home game day. And our band is also just incredible to watch if you ever attend a football game. Which I hope to attend hopefully soon as well, even as an alum since I'm in my senior year right now. Also at our Alumni Stadium, we've had the UMass women's lacrosse team play from 2007 to 2015. And every single year, it's also known for hosting our annual undergraduate commencement, which hopefully we can also get a taste of soon as well. But this really sums up our last stop of the tour. So I'm going to pass it over to Jotika to talk about the next steps.
All right, well, thank you everybody for being here with us tonight. We had a great time presenting and we hope you guys had a great time listening. If you have any further questions, feel free to either use the Q&A function or the chat function. And we have a little bit of time to answer some questions before we end the session. Cool. If nobody has any questions, oh, thank you. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to pass it back to Lindsay and she'll close out our session. Oh, when is the next construction project? We do have a bunch of construction still ongoing on campus, like the student union is still under construction. And we just finished Worcester Dining Hall. And we have a lot of construction projects coming out as well, I'm sure. So definitely a lot more going on as well, because I believe we did get like a very large grant from the state to do construction over the next 10 years. So definitely more to come. But if nobody has any other questions, then I will hand it off to Lindsay to close out our session tonight.
Thank you. And I just want to let you know, we are all enjoying your jokes from home. I know it's a little different than being in front of a live tour group, but we certainly appreciate your humor. I know a couple more questions might come in here. What about the suite living area? We do have several suite living areas on campus. I'm not sure if somebody could help Robert with his question.
Yeah, we have a lot of, again, as Lindsay said, we have a lot of areas, residential areas that offer suite living. So the Honors College offers suite living, suite style living. That's 2 bedrooms, a common room, and a bathroom within its own kind of little apartment. And we also offer suite style living in our Sylvan residential area. And we also offer apartment style living on campus, both in the Honors College as well as in North, as well as in the North apartments. So that is also an option as well. Just-
And I think the north apartments are the ones next to Topman, Robert. So
Yeah,
can
yeah.
definitely check those out. And Kimberly asked, do students actually take out books? I think so. Occasionally. But I think with that, we will wrap up our evening. I just want to thank the 5 of our tour guides again so much for your time tonight. We look forward to all of our alumni. I want to thank you again for coming tonight as well. We have homecoming events going on for the rest of this week. And so I hope you will check out umassalumni.com. Consider joining us at another event this week. And I truly look forward to a time when we can all be together to celebrate our UMass Pride on campus. I hope you all have a wonderful night. And thanks again. Go UMass.